blah, 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 blah. Which one would win in a drag race? It all started working on a series in my dad's shed. I followed my dreams and joined the Marines, serving in Afghanistan. Defenders were always part of me. So here we are, building custom machines with my awesome team in Shropshire. We are Mahker. Hi guys, I'm Dave, for those of you that do not already know me, and today I'm going to talk to you about what's going on in the workshop, and I'm going to do a comparison on our LS3 Ethos build and our Project Ninja, which is a 3 litre straight 6 M57. That is going to be what today is about. But first of all, I'm going to tell you why this Range Rover is looking sorry for itself. So, good friend of ours, Ben, brought this Range Rover into us and it had a clunk on low acceleration. So it was like a clink, 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 clink. And we were thinking, I've heard this before. And for those of you that follow our Instagram and the previous episodes, remember Wombat? Wombat had the Sendler rattle, but this car has done 130,000 miles. 5 litre supercharged, but there's a coupling that lives behind the supercharger nose. So where the belt drives round, coupling goes inside, and it's called an isolator. That's what Land Rover call it. So that isolator has actually worn a groove in the shaft, and you'll see in these next photos that I'll put up now. So inside there, it's basically, I want to say the spring's lost its spring, and it's been clacking away. So under low acceleration, where your blades are doing this, compressing the air to go into the engine, that was going clunk, 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 which is not good for those blades. Those blades, guys, if they ever touch, game over. Send swerve straight into the engine and it fails. So we pulled this engine to bits the other day. I wish I never did it. Poor Jeremy was in there cursing because all the plastic had gone brittle, things were breaking, wires had been ragged before. So someone has actually been in this engine before, and I want to say someone that's rough and doesn't have the finesse and the care that we have. Things that have been roamed out and just shoved back in, bolts that are hard to get to have just been left out. That's not how we work, guys. So we've pulled it apart. I've had a massive order from Hatfields due any moment, and we're going to get this car back together with a new belt, new coupling, new isolator, new seals instead of just mastic everywhere. It was just shocking, guys, and I really wish guys wouldn't bodge these cars. But unfortunately, if you own one of these Range Rovers, guys, if you can't afford to maintain it, don't own it, okay? Because trust me, if you go somewhere and say, oh, why is it so expensive to put back together? You're paying, guys, for the expertise, the care, the attention, and the passion that goes to put them back together properly, okay? So follow me in here and I'll tell you what we're going to do. So Project Ninja has got an M57 3 litre straight 6. Ethos right there has got a 6.2 litre LS3. So I'll do a comparison later on in the day.
Right guys, what I'm doing here is we've noticed quite a lot of pitting. So as you can see here, these swivels they've got quite a lot of pitting going on, which is well, not how it's supposed to look. So what we've been doing is these seals, these are the ones that have came off, and they all need replacing because they're leaking and it's not holding the oil that it's supposed to be holding, which just causes more problems. There's a lot of debris building up, and yeah, they could really do with some nice new fresh ones.
So I'm guessing, is it, especially having a lot of debris build up, that's sort of, it's almost like grit on your disc brakes or anything like that?
Yeah.
That's digging in as well, yeah?
Well, usually it's got a cover behind the brake, the disc, so it just stops it with any added wearing or catching or anything like that. So
do you want to talk us through the process of how you'd go about switching that out?
Yeah, absolutely. So first you'd undo these. ABS sensor goes in there. So when you're putting the new kit on, if it comes with these, make sure it's got a hole in for the ABS sensor. Otherwise, you'll be back to square one of having to take it off and put in the old one back in. And then what you'd do is you'd undo these 8mm here. This ring will then pop off. It'll pull out all over the top of here, over the end of the drive shaft, and then you'll be able to pry the seal out. That also comes over the top and off the end of the drive shaft. These then pull out, and then you're able to pull the swivel up and over the top. And then you give the, if you'd like to come here, this is one that I've just taken out. So you can have a good look inside where the swivel would sit, give it a quick clean out, and you can also check for any other mishaps in there, should there be any.
That's that one off. I'm guessing putting the new one straight back on.
Well, after taking both the swivels out, we've come to the conclusion that we're going to completely strip it down to the bare knuckle to see what else we're working with, which is the process I'm in now. So drive shaft's out, flanges are all off, calipers off, just trying to keep everything as tidy as it can be. But yeah, next to be come off is this nut here, and then this will lift off the knuckle, and then it'll just be splitting the disc from the hub and then go from there really.
Sweet. Chop chop.
Not sure where it is.
What you've been doing there, Louis?
Fitting the wheel carrier.
Is that is it ORE?
Yes.
Normal?
Yes.
Well,
And rear step.
what would you say is it that makes the ORE carrier better than any other carriers? Or why do you tend to use ORE?
Yeah, it's better because it holds the wheel. The weight goes on this, not on the door. So you're not gonna end up with a bend door, because in time the weight of the wheel damaged the door.
So Dave was being too noisy there. So what we're saying is the weight of the wheel is
In time, it's
closer to the chassis, basically,
yeah,
isn't it?
goes
Rather than
this,
on the door
on
itself.
This arm,
Yeah.
yeah, rather than take the door to take all the weight of the wheel.
So today I'm going to tell you about what's under this hood and what is under this hood. Many of you have asked what is the best and what should I choose and what should I own and what would you do, Dave, if it was your own? So you've kind of put me in a very hard predicament. These two cars are my favourites, most favourites. I could say this is the Ultimate 90 in my opinion, but this is also starting to be the Ultimate 90 in my opinion. So I can't keep them both. They're both now owned by two very good clients of ours. But I'm going to describe to you about what makes this car what it is and about what makes that car what that is. So under this bonnet we have an LS3. This engine is tuned to 480 horsepower. Very torque heavy, very low down. It's got a very tasty cam in there. And the client who owns this car wanted something unique. He wanted his taste expelled into a car. So his ethos. So this car is called Ethos 1. This is our #1 build as Mahker. Very precious to me and very precious to its owner. And everything about it is loved by many. It's rare that we can build a car that is adored by people, especially the females amongst us, the older people amongst us. When we did the Rover Social a few months ago, we had a lot of older clients that came along. We actually had an old lady in a wheelchair that approached us and said that she'd fallen in love with this car and she's actually bought a print off me to go above the mantelpiece, believe it or not, because she just loves what we've done as a team and produced. So over to this one. This is an animal. So this car produces 830 Newton meters of torque. It is an absolute monster. And I'll go under the bonnet in a moment and talk you through what's under there. It's a straight six. This is one of BMW's most iconic engines. So it's very torque heavy. This car made 420 horsepower. It's got a big turbo on there, guys. So a big VNT turbo. So VNT technology, and we've got some very special injectors inside this engine. These injectors were developed by one of the UK's leading tuning guys, GKR Tuning, and Glenn. For those of you that know Glenn, he is a very clever guy when it comes to BMWs. He presses buttons on computers, and I don't even know what he's pressing, but sometimes I used to think that he's a mad scientist and he's pushing buttons in there, and is it really doing anything? But of course it is, because when he came here on Tuesday and did the final tune on this vehicle, I took it up the road and my words were, this vehicle is bonkers. It's got ATB diffs front and rear. It has the ability, guys, to torque steer that badly, it wants to turn itself in two, if you like. But that makes for a very interesting drive. So I want to call this a back road basher. So, but you also put it on a motorway at 70, 80 miles an hour and it cruises. It cruises very happy. Like, as you can see here, the suspension is so soft. It's plush. You hit a sleeping policeman, you know, an average one, and you barely feel it. It's got Fox 2.0 remote reservoir, fully adjustable shock absorbers. As you can see, if he gets this car buried, we've got the ultimate Red Winch Explorer from my good friend Neil at Red Winches. And where do I start? So this car is going to be a daily for Phil, who owns it. We've given him, if you look down here, we've given him the biggest brakes we can possibly compile into a 20-inch wheel. So, and as you can see here, I excuse how dirty these cars are, guys, but we've given him these beautiful billet caps, our latest feature, guys, and I love them. Everything about this car is stealth, select, even down to the mud flaps. So look at that, it's heavy duty from our good friend Gwyn Lewis. The interior is something you'd probably find in a Bentley, but it's beautiful, guys. This car it's plush, and it's also built for battle. So look at these side rails, solid. If someone ran into the side of them, guys, I think they're going to end up worse off. We've actually had a motorbike the other day hit a car at 60 mile an hour side on. Those side rails destroyed the bike, but the Defender's still going on the road, guys. So, and the occupant, the doors are a bit battered and the quarter's a bit battered, but the occupant is safe, and that is all I care about, is my customers in my cars, okay? And let's get back onto the subject. So under here, I'm going to go and pop the bonnet. So we tried to make this look like it was born in here, guys. So back to it. So this is an M57N. So this is an iron block, aluminium head, 3 litre. So I'm not going to go into the critical CCs of exactly what this car has got, but 3 litres for argument's sake. We've got straight 6 cylinders in line. Down here, we have a VNT turbo. This turbo is by far standard. And if you look down there, you can't really see it because it's crammed in there with our billet air conditioning pump and hardware and bracketry. And this is our adapter chassis kit. So this is what we call our bolt-in kit. So if you want a kit, guys, I can ship you a kit in the post. And right now, I'm dedicated to building these cars. So right now, kits are going to be a next year thing, okay? This car is, I want to say, economical. It's doing about 32 to the gallon currently. It is very responsive, so you hit that loud pedal and it takes you where you want to go. Accelerates beautifully, brakes astonishingly well, so those 6 spots on the front almost stand this car on its nose. And as you can see behind here, we've got an air conditioning radiator. Cramming all that into this car, guys, was challenging, believe me. So it's hard to make a car fun, fast, safe, and most of all, ability to be a daily. So many people think you can just throw any engine in a car and make it a daily. So many people ask me about electrics. This client could be in Peterborough one day, he could be in Birmingham another day, he could be in Manchester the next. His job takes him everywhere, so he can't work with electric. So we've done the next best thing. We've gone with diesel, economy, versatility, you know, everything that we can possibly cram into a vehicle, okay? So I'm gonna go back over to Ethos. So we started this car about 1.5 years ago. Me and the owner, God, we're now very good friends. And what can I say is, there's that old saying, a client becomes a friend sooner than a friend becomes a client. And I'll stand by that, guys. Since I've started Mahker, believe me, I love every single one of my clients. Some of them I've had altercations with because some things haven't gone to plan, but that's business, hey? But anyway, this is a 6.2 litre V8. So I've only got to start this up, right, guys, and it sells itself. I took this to Rover Social and I could have sold it 50 times, but I can't sell it, it's sold, unfortunately. But where do I start? So this is an American engine. This came to me in a box. So it came from me in a box from America. We designed some mounts around it. We designed a cooling kit, as you can see there. That is one hell of a cooling kit. That's over 4.5 inches deep. The biggest core we could fit in there. We've gone with twin spal, monstrous fans to keep this car cool. These cars sit at about 98 to 100 degrees. That is their happy working zone, guys, to make them mostly efficient. So we have to keep them there. And when it overcomes the temperature, guys, that's when problems happen. We don't want this car detonating, God forbid. So we give it the ultimate in cooling, air conditioning, nice bit of comfort in the summer, big alternator to look after the electrics, the amplifiers, the sound system, heated screen in the winter, you know, those kind of things. And for those of you that keep asking me, we've gone twin servo again. This is normally found on later model 110 with ABS. So we fit this to everything, guys. We want these cars to stop, properly stop. This car's packing the Alcon brakes. So this is an Alcon bolt-on kit. Fantastic. Fits behind our beautiful steel wheels. And for those of you that keep asking me on email, these wheels are a 9-inch rim. So we've banded these. We've added a few extra inches in the center, guys. You can't see the welds because our welder is amazing. And we finished them in a beautiful satin finish. These general tires, they're a one-off order, guys, so they are available, so get in touch if you want them. So there you have it. Ethos, it's one hell of a machine. This car is definitely a toy, okay? If you want to use it as a daily, I want to say it'll return probably 20 miles to the gallon unless you drive like a snail, okay? But this car, you get in it, and if you come around here, Ben, if you get at the back, I'm going to fire it up and So if the sound of this machine doesn't make you want one, I really don't know what wouldn't. This car at 4,000 RPM sounds fantastic, guys. And imagine it hurling up the back roads, and we want to go and do the 500 in Scotland, because I think this car would, oh, imagine it in the mountains, imagine that V8 noise echoing off them hills, it would sound astonishing. So I'm going to give you a bit of walk around what we've done. So we've gone ORE wheel carrier, NAS step, make it easier for people in and out the back. This car is sitting on our sport spring, so I call this kit my level kit, so it makes Defender sit level. Clients that don't need to tow a lot, clients that want general comfort, but they don't want the car swaying around and feeling like a boat, this is my suspension kit. Look at that, okay? One let go, it's back. The shocks work, the springs work. Everyone that drives this car, and I've taken out in test drives, loves it. And this is what I base my heritage on, you know? So if you want a car, and if you just look in here, so you'll have to excuse, guys, there's a couple of leaves and things. This is our distressed leather set. So it works beautiful. The steering wheel is nicely perforated to give you that nice cozy feel. We've got some little touches on the doors here. The brown stitch that we've picked out on the dash is actually the same as the brown hide that is on the door cards itself. And if you want to look in here, look at this dash. So this is a Dakota Digital. This dash allows you to pick up on extra things, so what gear you're in, what the oil pressure is, battery condition, you know, all the things, guys, that you want to look at when you're driving along. My most important thing is, guys, is things like oil pressure, engine temperature, the things, the fundamentals, guys, to look after this car. This is by far, you know, a standard car. If you look in here, we've gone with the Hertz sound system. We've built a 10-inch sub into the back of the cubby box. We've just given it things that are comfortable, you know, creature comforts that we like these back windows. There's no rattles from these, guys, okay? There's no sliding window. Some people miss the sliding window, but how often do you really open that sliding window, okay? This is a limestone roof, the colour. Galv cappings to keep the heritage alive, like the old series used to be. This is an off grey colour, right? Fallen in love with this colour, so we've built a soft top because of it. If you look around here, we've gone with the classic front bumper. That is actually stainless steel underneath there. Same with my steering guard, all Mahker branded. And what more to say? So this car is packing a 6-speed automatic. It's very easy. We've got a nice kick down set, nice and low. So if you want to go for that, you know, nice quick overtake, it has the ability to do that, guys. This guy here is coupled up to our billet adapter, which is back to the original Puma box. And if you look inside, if you come over here, this is inside Ninja. So this is the M57 6-speed. So as you can see here, guys, these sticks are in the original place. So to the untrained eye, this is a Puma. So the steering wheel is in the same place, the seats are in the same place. We've given this car this beautiful red leather, and I've fallen in love with it, guys. It's grown on me every day I've got in here. When I was first tasked with building this car, I was a bit unsure. I was a bit like, do I like that, do I not? But you know what, guys? I love it. I absolutely love it. Anything from the halo head unit to these gauges. So they're just cool, guys. Like, we've got EGT, we've got water temp, oil pressure, and oil temperature, guys. So I want my client to keep an eye on those, because this is a performance engine. This engine's packing nearly 400 horsepower and lots of torque. This car is going to do road trip after road trip, daily after daily, and it's going to be a mile eater, guys, okay? So that's what this car is all about. So if you want something that is versatile, friendly, and just a little bit outrageous, let's build you one of these, okay? We've nailed it now, guys. We have nailed, you know, the recipe. So the recipe to build the ultimate beast. Tom at Winchester Gears has built this gearbox to take the pain, guys, and I have kicked this car's arse. I have gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through these gears on an airfield, of course, in a safe environment. I've tried to break it. We've tried to do things that could happen by accident. We've tried, you know, missing a gears, dropping the clutch, those kind of things, because I wanted this car to throw a mishap with myself. I didn't want it to do it with its client. Cars are mechanical things, okay? Cars can break down, things can break, and it always seems to happen when the client has it back, right? That I cannot prevent, okay? But what I can prevent and preempt, guys, is the niggles, the little things like leaks, hoses, things like that. There's so much to think about when you're building one of these cars. It can be, is there enough clearance between the release bearing and the clutch plate? All of those things, guys, there is so much to think about when you're mating these aftermarket engines to a gearbox that it's never ever been mated to before. But believe me, I've lost sleep, I have lost hair, and I want to say, God, money most of all, basically getting these cars right. And I just love the fact that when we put them together and they work, it's that pat on the back that we've achieved something that no one else has, and you know what, job done, get it out the door and let the client enjoy it. So if you want a car guy that is built by professionals, built by guys that share the same passion as yourselves and adore these Defenders, get in touch, okay? So I'm trying my best to build the best machines there is on this planet, and with your help and supporting me and trusting me, let's keep it happening. For those of you that contact me and say, Dave, what would suit my build? So it's hard for me to say. I don't know if miles per gallon is a problem for yourself, but just think about it. This car wants to do, it'll probably be 30 on a motorway, okay? Where that would probably do 40 on a motorway. If you said to me I was towing every day, definitely the M57. If you were towing of a weekend, maybe a boat, jet ski, you know, something like, maybe the odd horse box here and there, go for the V8 guys. But this client wants something he can use every day, so go for the M57. I chose this comparison, guys, because this is the best of both worlds. We've got noise, okay? The M57 doesn't give the lovely growl that the V8 gives for the obvious reason, but it also gives that nice, that gives you turbo noises, this doesn't. This gives you that nice, I always say it's like two fat people fighting in a well, like blub, 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 blub. And you know what? This is what I want, okay? And this is what I'm building myself. So as and when clients leave me alone and I get a chance to build my own car over the weekend, but I really don't know. So what would I choose? I think I'd have both, guys. I'd have the BMW for a daily and I would have the LS3 of a weekend toy. So I can't choose your, you know, what you like, but I hope this video has helped people, you know, have a good decision. And the weather today is pretty atrocious, so I'm gonna get these cars back in the shop before something blows away. Thanks again for watching, guys. This has been a very in-depth episode. I've really given my love and my passion into these cars, and so have my team. I want you guys to have a serious think about what you're going to ask me. I want you to like, subscribe, and share this video. I really want this channel to grow. And just a question, guys, which one would win in a drag race, right? I'm going to go back to the drawing board and arrange this. I'm going to ask the clients if I can do this more than anything. So what's your money on? M57 with 400 horsepower, the LS3 with 480 horsepower, but I'm not going to tell you what torque that's making. You know what this is making, 830 Newton meters. I'm not going to tell you what this one's making, but remember, 6-speed auto, it can shift faster than a stabbed rat, but I've got one of these doing 0 to 60 in just under 6 seconds, guys. So similar transmissions, both got Winchester 2s, axles, ATBs throughout, but have a good think about it, guys. Which one would win in a drag race? If this video gets over 1,000 likes, I will arrange that drag race to happen, okay? And if the customer doesn't let me do it, then I'll just build another one, okay? And I will make that happen. So thanks again for watching, guys. Tune in to the next episode. Find us on TikTok, find us on Instagram and Facebook, send some love, and see you soon.